are, but I can do that
No,
later.
It'll take. Well, Charles isn't here yet. It'll take a little bit to get this set up. Actually, I should make sure that. Okay.
I'm entirely too fried for this, but hello, everyone.
Hi, Kate. Long time no see.
I think if we.
I just leave this party.
yep. But we're back.
Yep.
For more fun. And now I'm frozen.
Yeah. What is this like?
Let it go, Chris.
2023
Let it go.
is beginning.
Let it go. Oh, that's so. I think it's just that computer in the basement is just awful.
All right. So is Kate not actually? What's happening?
Oh, somebody said I was swaying, so I was just
okay.
slowly keel over. Yeah, Kate is not joining us. She's
Okay.
going to run away.
All
Run
right.
away.
Ken, what's on your lamp back there? It looks very unique.
I don't know. I just moved in. You mean this
Yeah.
thing?
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Okay.
Famous last words.
God, he's bringing the whole thing. Too tall.
It looks like just a pastoral setting.
Mm.
Is this
It's
like
great.
is this an Airbnb or something?
Correct. I will be here for the next month.
Is it actually
nice.
turned on?
Well, I had to unplug it to bring it over here.
Ah,
So
Okay,
I guess the answer
too
is
bad.
no.
I can put it back and then we can turn it on.
okay. Yeah, you should do that for that nice living room effect.
By the way, just I don't know if you're looking up at the thing, but we are on YouTube. We are broadcasting.
no.
We are participating in the unreasonable amount of, however many hours of video per second get uploaded to YouTube. We are contributing to that problem.
Oh no, oversharing.
It's kind of this is a weird time. I guess actually the Sunday afternoon is the weird time. That's what I remember of Sunday afternoon is like it's there, people are sad, people are saying goodbye, and then it's like,
Yeah.
Wait, it's empty. What's happening? It just evaporates.
Yeah, everybody just like they're scrambling to get all their stuff into their cars or into boxes and bags and shipped away, and then it's like, oh wait, we were just doing stuff, cool stuff.
Yeah.
And then all the people
Did I turn this one on?
disappeared.
We can both be on it.
Though the other thing I also remember is hello.
Hello, Avi.
Like the next year when you show up, it's like 10 minutes have elapsed.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. That's how I always was like, I just packed all this shit into my car.
Took me a second to realize that audience was fake.
That's right.
I was like, "What? This is the
Hey,
most."
there's Charles.
Hello, Javi.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, that's me in the background there behind you, Chris.
Yeah, I
Yes.
was just wondering.
Ken's in the back of the room.
I'm back there too.
Are we fairly sure there are no red lanyards?
Yeah, good point. Well, it was up on our website.
Okay.
It's a Ken photo, so hopefully there's no red lanyards.
We can just blame Ken.
Speaking of which,
Yeah, that's right.
Do you have your?
No, yet. I got it.
Ah,
No, not right
okay.
now.
Yeah, you could borrow one. We won't notice. Just hand yours over, Chris.
All right, give me that.
Huh?
Give me
Now-
that.
I'm now wondering if is there anybody in that photo who's no longer alive?
Oh God!
Oh man.
Don't.
Yeah, you're not helping.
Perhaps I should take it down. Just put up
Yeah, I just put normal
innocuous.
background. Yeah. Just
Yeah.
put,
Yeah, well, Javier keeps blipping in and out of reality.
yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think that's the.
I'm in and out of reality.
Yeah, it's probably better actually with just the basement, unless people will be walking by or something. But
He keeps alternating between reality and reality.
to be honest, I really do like seeing the basement. I mean, I think there is really something. There's something about seeing that space. For at least those of us on the corners of my screen who didn't see that space this year.
It's like nostalgia.
Maybe that's what.
But with new chairs, like
Yeah,
new
The
chairs.
whole reason we're in the
It's
hobby
called
to begin with.
happiness.
Yeah,
Happiness.
Aw.
By the way, what counts as having started?
We've
Have
done
we
it.
started?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay, we're
Is
we're
there a-
live or
I
we're
think, yeah.
done.
That'd
Okay.
be-
Well, it's apparently on YouTube, so sure.
Do we have
We're
a
waiting
game?
for
We have chat.
So what are the names of all of the various podcasts? I'm gonna try to do the Quinn thing and combine the names.
Yeah,
Yeah.
good question. And what counts? Can I still claim? I'm gonna still claim that drop 3 inches hasn't gone off the air entirely.
Yeah.
I think you can use drop 3 or inches in that.
That's really
Um,
good for a name. So
Yeah. And then retro computing roundtable, you can put however many spaces between the R and the G as you want. It could be
I'm
retro.
representing two.
2.
Okay.
What the heck?
I'm representing. Oh gosh.
Is
And what's the name of yours, Javi? Is it like Retro Repair?
Well, yeah. We have Retro Repair Roundup. That is with Ron. Oh, you cannot see it. Woohoo!
Ah, nice.
Retro Repair Roundup is with Ron, Joe, and myself, and oh my God, he's gonna kill me. I forgot his name.
what's that? Yeah.
Rudy.
Yeah.
Gee. And mine is called Adventures in Retro Computing.
I can hear the music as soon as you say that.
Yeah.
All right. I've got assembly lines.
Mhm.
And Ken has,
I would say you still have Open Apple. You just did one pretty recently.
What? Oh, you're right. In the last year, there was an episode of Open Apple that was new that Em and I did.
I mean, you can have others, but I'm just saying like that one I think counts.
Well, the final ever episode of Polygamer airs this coming Wednesday
Wow.
after 8 years.
Wow.
And I have decided that it's time for somebody else to be telling diverse stories, somebody other than a straight white cis man. And Transporter Lock is still coming and going.
Yeah,
As
I'm
it does,
still,
it's
I'm still
intermittent.
watching that. Yeah.
You
I'm
gotta
actually having
put
a
all
good
the
time,
maps.
like watching all the stuff come by. Strange New Worlds has been quite interesting.
Everyone talks about Strange
I
New
know,
Worlds.
I haven't watched.
No, I watched the first one. It
What-
was
what's
so
it
boring
on?
that I canceled.
Really?
So, yeah.
Wait, what's it on? What channel? Is it?
Paramount, I think it's called.
You gotta. Do you have to subscribe to like Paramount or some?
Well,
Yeah.
my,
Have to.
Yeah.
You
You can
have
get
to
pi-
do.
my phone
Can you-
company gave it to me for free.
What?
I got T-Mobile. They give it to me.
Yeah.
So
That's annoying.
I can give you a referral code for Paramount Plus, or you can just get the shows you want to watch on Blu-ray from the library.
yeah.
Blu-ray. It's all digital.
I would hope Blu-ray
What is
would be
this
digital.
Blu-ray
yes.
you talk of.
It's the stuff that comes with all the director's commentaries and deleted scenes and bloopers and the stuff that you don't get when you're streaming.
Guess who's here behind us?
Hey, Ron.
Do you want to come sit between us, or do you
I
want to?
can sit right here.
Yeah,
it's
he's
fine.
big.
Yeah, I'm huge. It's like,
Okay.
forced perspective.
That's right. It is.
Here, we'll move
Yeah.
back and
Yeah,
then.
yeah, but do project so that we can have some hope of having the volume
Yeah, do you
level.
want to move the
Yeah, you
tape?
can all huddle around the microphone.
No, no, seriously.
He's
you're too
happy,
tiny.
he's
I look studious.
You look,
Okay.
you're making me nervous
Can you
though.
hear
You're
me?
like,
Can you hear me?
Yeah, actually, I think
Did I project?
yeah, I think it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good.
he's like, no,
But so
loud.
so yeah, so what podcast name do we attribute to you? Charles is trying to mash up a bunch of podcast names.
It's the Retro Repair Roundtable with my good friend Javier.
Okay.
Computer
And
Roundup.
Ron's computer videos.
Oh, that's not a podcast though. That's
Oh,
that's a tax dodge on YouTube.
Okay. And you can probably count Chicken Missile. So probably we could have like a 38 word title here
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm trying.
with
to-
retro computing being like every third word.
Right. Just use variables after the first one.
$sign
Um,
podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
Backups, people. Everybody must have backups. Back up everything to the cloud. Everything will be safe.
That's what the people at that cloud company that wants to sell us says.
Yep.
They couldn't possibly have an ulterior motive.
Nope. It's all good.
Yeah, nobody, the thing that we say at work is nobody's interested in backup. Everyone is interested in restore. So
Right.
backups are free, restore is what's costing you.
So we should just start a restore company.
Yeah.
Just, you just
How did you get
restore-
my documents? You don't want to know.
You just
Yeah.
no, you just restore
Yeah.
stuff.
Uh-huh.
Random.
You had some pictures, right? Here are some pictures.
You know, it's kind of like in D&D, the difference between a resurrection spell and a reincarnation spell.
Yes,
Mm.
exactly. You might end up to be a werebear or something, but that's
Oh, I love
okay.
The werebear.
Oh, apparently this is what my family looks like now.
Did you see the trailer for the new D&D movie with Chris Pine?
I have not seen that
I
yet.
heard something about it, but I will not even be cautiously optimistic because of the number of Dungeons and Dragons related media, like official media, have always disappointed. Except for the 80s cartoon, which I want to see come back. I want to see that
Ha-
rebooted.
Did you watch the DVD set of that?
Of the cartoon?
Yes.
No, I think I watched like they like redo the last episode, or like finish the last episode where they made it home.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, spoilers. So
Yeah.
yeah. So when the
Because-
show was canceled back in the 80s, they had a script for a final episode.
Right. That's what I was
and
remembering.
didn't get the chance to produce it. So when they did the
Hmm.
DVD, they
Okay.
hired back the original actors to read the script as a radio drama.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That is cool.
By the way, John tells us that BB King is better than BB Edit,
That's
and
probably
asks if the cloud has a data leak. Does that mean it rained? Here all week. Oh wait, no.
We've already been here all week.
Oh, it's been live.
Oh, it's live right
We're-
now.
Oh, we're totally
Yeah.
live.
Oh,
Yeah,
Everything you're
Get my
saying,
nose back here for 20 minutes.
everything you're saying and doing has been recorded for posterity. Yeah. See, there's John again. There's a reason I'm remote.
All right. So Kat says she's not joining us. It looks like the Rockhurst contingent is there. Are we waiting on anyone else?
Nope.
I think we're not, but they're very late if they were coming.
Okay.
Meanwhile, let's see. How long have we been preparing to start? 23 minutes now.
Yeah.
It's about average. It's about par for the course.
Take 23 minutes to wind down, and then we'll be good.
Yeah, yeah,
This is
sounds good.
not padding at the beginning of the Emmys or anything
That's
else.
right.
So we're
It's true.
fine.
It's
We're
true.
fine.
Yeah.
Great.
In the meantime, we can put some ads.
Yeah. Yeah. That was pretty great actually. The shampoo product page.
yeah.
Oh,
I
that's
liked it.
amazing. Blame it on the only one who has hair
Yeah.
enough to shampoo.
Yeah. I'm just hairless.
I'm not using that shampoo. That stuff is dangerous. It's deadly.
It's already gone, sold out.
Yep.
I mean, you charged my credit card anyway.
Bring
but
it
still.
exactly.
Oh yeah, I know.
Hell yeah.
I think Paul, you're driving.
Yeah.
Am I driving? Well, yeah, I mean, so that's because then I could start driving. I
Yes.
was just thinking.
Yeah, you
Um,
do it.
I haven't given this a lot of
Oh.
thought, but
Here,
do we have a
I'll
name?
give you the name of the show at least. How about that? Let me just
Yeah.
put that in the chat if I can get it to open up. There we go.
And I think I would
You know,
uh
Ken is so bored.
Yeah.
yeah.
Hey, are we going to talk about that amazing demo that you did with Debbie Harry and the Amiga? Because that was such a transformative thing, Paul, that just.
It's wearing the wrong glasses, but it's got the hair for it.
Uh-huh.
Mess it up a little bit. And
Okay. Yes.
You see
Welcome.
how sort of-
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Here we go.
You,
All right.
I don't. I promise I'm not as good as Quinn. How about that?
Yeah.
I cannot mute all. I mean, I can mute all three of us, but I can't individually mute anybody. So
So hello, welcome to Open Retro Chicken Drop Retro Adventure Tables Line. Okay, what is it? Okay, welcome to Open Retro Chicken Drop Retro Adventure Table Lines Roundup. I am Paul Hagstrom near Boston. No, I am actually, and together we are going to talk. Where we have just survived KansasFest 2022, and we are going to talk about that and play some games and who knows what. It's we are all very weary. So who knows what could happen. But so I'll go around the table and sort of talk about have everybody introduce themselves actually as to like who they are and what podcasts they participate in, and then we'll talk a little bit about the event. So maybe I will. How about Ken, since you are first on my screen?
Hey, Paul, did you know that you can drag and drop icons and windows in Zoom to make anybody first?
Yes, that's why I didn't say first, upper left.
I see. So I think you dragged me into this position. I see how it is. So hi, I
Kicking
am Ken
and screaming.
Gagne, and I am host of 3 podcasts. I, in the past year, co-hosted an episode of Open Apple with M. McGinnis, just like we used to back in the day. That is a podcast about the Apple II. I am also the host of Polygamer, a podcast about equality and diversity in the gaming industry. It's been airing for 8 years this month, and the final episode is tentatively scheduled for this coming Wednesday. And I'm also the co-host of Transporter Lock, a Star Trek podcast that I co-host with my friend Sabriel Maston. So thank you. Hello, welcome, and glad to be here.
Excellent. Charles.
I guess that's me. I'm Charles Mangin from the among other things, the Chicken Missile podcast, which is actually sort of a spin-off from previous years' versions of this podcast. And I've occasionally been on Retro Computing Roundtable when they couldn't get enough people to make the table round. And probably a couple of others here and there, depending on when this publishes. So yeah, that's me.
Excellent. And then we have a set of people in Rockhurst, so I will let you decide the order you go in.
I can go. All right. I'm Chris Torrance, and I host the Assembly Lines podcast on YouTube. And I also have a online store at ct6502.org where you can buy lots of cool t-shirts and mugs, and you can not buy W drives and booty cards because they're never in stock. That's me.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So next is me. I'm Javier Rivera. I'm the host of Adventures in Retro Computing. I'm also co-host in Retro Repair Roundup, and I got 8-Bit Tees, the best t-shirt to store in the planet. Here you go, guys.
Hey, I'm Ron from Ron's Computer Videos. I also am a co-host on Retro Repair Roundtable with Javier. And generally, I just try to stay out of trouble. But this was my very first KansasFest. I had an amazing time. Thank you to all the folks who went out of their way to make me feel welcome. All the people who, especially as a first timer, that made sure that I was in the right place at the right time to get the best KansasFest experience. I cannot stress it enough. If you've been on the fence about coming to this event, you need to get here next year, because there's only new, every year there's just new and amazing things to experience, and you need to be part of it.
And I'm Jeremy from Jeremy's Retro Bar YouTube channel, and also my first KansasFest, and I'm very sweaty because I was just going for a walk outside and it's still very humid and hot, so sorry for that.
How about KansasFest? You like it?
Oh yeah, KansasFest has been amazing. Kind of the same as what Ron has been saying. I've probably been thinking of going or coming here for 15 to 20 years, and I finally was like, all right, we need to do this, and I finally did, and I was very glad I did. So yeah, it's awesome.
Nice.
Excellent. Yeah, I'm glad to have you here. And I realized that I didn't say which podcasts I am on. I'm most regularly on the Retro Computing Roundtable, and in principle, the podcast Drop 3 Inches hasn't quite gone away. So I'm hoping that there will be more episodes of that too. So yeah, we started talking a little bit already about the KansasFest experience, but that's the thing that sort of brings us all together at this time. And so I guess I just kind of wanted to go around and see if anyone had sort of like a particular moment that they wanted to, that impressed them or annoyed them or whatever about maybe impressed about the event this time. Anyone can jump in. Maybe that's probably the better thing than calling on people.
I will jump in and I will say that my one of my favorite sessions was Jcraft's X-Slinger game. I thought that it was really cool. So it's a 2-player game, local couch co-op or couch competitive rather, using the text mode of VidHD card, if I understand correctly. And it was just a lot of fun. It's very similar to Space War, the first arcade game from Atari. And it was very easy to pick up and play, very few buttons. We were playing with the SNES Max controller card. People would take turns. Whoever would lose after a minute of gaming would just pass the controller to the next person, and everybody got to play. I thought it was a lot of fun and there aren't a lot of sessions at KansasFest that, in my opinion, actually end with a product that you can immediately pick up and use without having to necessarily like read the manual or download libraries or compile it. So I thought this was a nice balance to those other tools, which are also very useful. There's just a bigger gap of evaluation with some of them.
Yeah, I like that one, and a couple of other sessions. I've got the schedule in front of me here, so where they weren't just sort of rehashing something that, oh well, if we had the right tools, we could have built this in the 80s using the old hardware. But hey, I was inspired by this new piece of hardware that's been out for just a few years. Still the same platform, still the same coding restrictions and 8 bits and 1 megahertz processor and all that. But now we have these new video modes, and or this piece of hardware lets us do streaming audio because we can get data into the bus faster through the Ethernet card than we ever could with a serial card. Things like that, where it's like, we put these things out. We've got like adapters and boards and things that people have built to expand these. But it seems like a lot of times it's like, okay, I'm using this to make the disks go faster, and so I'm gonna replace the disks with a fast thing, or I'm going to use this to connect to things that I could already connect through with a bunch of adapters, but I have a direct line now. But when somebody hands you, hey, here's a thing that now you have this massive video mode, massive text mode, and you can just blitz stuff onto the screen super fast, or you have again, like the data from the internet or from Wi-Fi, and people are using it for something that's not just another disk image, or even with something like Total Replay, where it's all these games and things on a giant disk. But it's still the stuff that we were doing before. Now it's like people are doing things that you couldn't do before without the sort of standing on the shoulders of giants from people in the last handful of years.
Yeah.
I'd say I love Jay's presentation. I played a lot of the game this weekend and had a really good time, but I really enjoyed the Mega 2 conversation just about the hardware, and to kind of bring people up to speed that maybe didn't see the presentation, but you should absolutely check out. The Apple G.S motherboard has a chip on it that basically integrates a lot of the functionality of some of the components from the original Apple II line, and maybe some of that stuff wasn't actually used in the sort of the backward compatibility for the TGS. So there's a lot of mystery about this chip and whether it was something that was in development or repurposed or what. And that presentation really dives in deep and shows how, with some additional logic, you can go through and actually turn it into a working Apple II machine. Yeah. Not to spoil it, but if you've been following the presenters' content on Element 14 Presents, you've seen kind of where we're building to on all of this. But it was amazing, and it was really neat to kind of be able to see the prototype in person, which, the Zoom session takes you so far, but yeah, just being able to hold that and really examine it with my own eyes was just very valuable kind of experience to me.
Yeah. I second that one. I was very, very amazed by that. And I was very happy that I could touch it and, see it and actually ask questions about it. what is this, is that directly over here, not just seeing through a window. And the same thing with a lot of things, I not only at presentations, but, walking around and talking to people about, what do you have over here? What's this new hardware and all that. I really was looking for that experience again and really, really fill me up a lot. So I'm very happy that I was here. Yeah.
Yeah. I came for the food.
I heard it was good though, actually.
It was. Surprisingly, the food was actually much better. They redesigned the cafeteria. They super friendly. They also had a lot of items for people who had either allergies. So, for example, I have a dairy allergy, others vegetarian. They had a lot of different choices for that. So it was really good. One other thing I would add, maybe two things. So Robert Woodhead gave an excellent, presentation for.
That was amazing.
Yeah. And I was struck, obviously he gave his whole background, but it was also just, he talked about how a lot of it was just due to, in some sense, random or chance and kind of like luck, but just being in the right place, at the right time. So that was very cool. And he's done a lot of different things. And then maybe the last thing is just the sheer number of new people at the event this year. And, there was obviously less people in person than other years, but there was, I don't know how many, 8, 10,
10, like 8 or 10 new people.
Yeah, 10 new people. And that was great, right? It was great to see. And it's always fun to
interactions.
Get people here and try and make them feel, welcome and so that they have a good time. So speaking.
So do we have a final attendee number for in-person, online?
Yeah, like 43 people, about 200 online.
Mm-hmm.
I think
more than I thought.
I think that's approximately the numbers. So yeah.
What do you think?
I just, you guys kind of covered the sessions that I thought were cool. I thought the Mega 2 was really cool just from a hardware perspective, just kind of seeing him go through that. I really liked Jay's game. That was probably one of my favorites. But one of the moments I thought was very funny, and I'm terrible with names. So, the woman was doing the session on animation in the Bard's Tale, and she just kept talking about how she was trying to make everything better than wizardry, and Robert is sitting in the audience
there
for talk, sitting there just kind of like frowning as she just keeps talking about how she's making the animations better in Bard's Tale because she wanted to make a better version of wizardry. So I just thought that was amusing, just being able to see the two. And I know you guys on Zoom couldn't see the cutaway. We didn't have a cameraman for that. So,
We'll have to insert that into the stream and post.
I promise you that if remote presenters could see the audience, it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah. No, I'm sure she was well aware of that he was there. But I was really impressed actually with the sessions. I mean, like everything was great. One of the early ones was the Chris Kenaway on the Apple II audio from the ground up. I didn't know any of this stuff about the speaker. I believed that you weren't supposed to store in it and all the stuff and I really sort of felt like I didn't think there was going to be anything to learn there. I figured it was going to be more about envelopes and frequencies and which I think is interesting but hard to get into my head. And this was it blew me away. I was really impressed with it, that there was like all this stuff there that I really didn't understand. And once I kind of understood how to work it, I can see like, oh, I want to use this now. I mean, that's another thing I really like about this is that these talks can inspire you to, not just like, oh, look at all the cool stuff people are doing, but oh, I could use that in my thing.
Yep.
Yeah, now I want to make an Apple III add-on card for an Apple II.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, all that stuff that you could do with the Apple III, but then it was, so crippled and hindered by other things. And then it wasn't ever brought forward into the 2E or the GS. Like, oh, I could really use interrupts, I could really use the, a movable 0 page, and that would be really helpful. So I'm going to see if I can do a brain transplant, cut some of the stuff out and put it into a thing that actually sits on the bus and does those things. I doubt it. With my level of knowledge of the 2E, the Apple II bus, I could get there on my own, but that's why there's a community.
Yeah, no, I mean, I really like the sort of inspirational aspect of this. Mike Willigal had a card that would do sort of the same thing in reverse. It would take your Apple II and it would make it an Apple One. Like you put it in and downgrade it. He also had a Swift card, which would, I guess he was reproducing that, but that was the thing that sort of made sort of like a Canon cat out of your Apple II.
Right. That was the everything was a chord. It was multiple keys to do anything. Yeah.
Jeff Raskin, right? It was his idea of where the Macintosh was gonna be, but didn't end up going that way.
I think so.
We also had Bill mention Stephen Edwards. That was also fantastic, talking about the sort of like the design and history of the 6502. Loved that. So yeah, definitely worth checking out all the stuff. Maybe now not worth checking out the like day-long YouTube streams, but soon they'll be, consumable in smaller portions. Lots of stuff on FujiNet.
Yep.
So
that's cool.
FujiNet is up and coming.
Yeah.
Maybe not everybody's cup of tea, but I love keyboards. And so the discussion, I missed the session in the morning, but thankfully
it was great.
Yeah, I was able to speak to the gentleman kind of at length about like kind of our mutual love of Alps key switches.
Dr. Boogie, yeah.
Stephen Buggy.
Yeah, it was really, he was so nice to just sit there, and he probably told me his whole presentation just kind of as we just sat there and conversed about it.
Yeah, he'll do that.
Really nice guy, and there were so many of those cool interactions.
Yeah.
In addition to that kind of built on the sessions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was just going to ask if there was more people wanted to say, and look, there you were.
There's always more. But the and I've totally lost my track, but I'm going to pull it back out. Anyhow, yeah. So you said that there were a bunch of new people this year in person, which is great. I'm kind of curious how many of them watched the virtual sessions last year and got kind of inspired to come back when the in-person reopened. But I also heard at least two of the presenters, and maybe it was on chat and maybe it was in their presentation, but they're like, I've always wanted to come to KansasFest. I've always wanted to do a presentation and talk about this for the for this audience, but I could never get to Kansas City, or I could never get the time off, or like couldn't travel from Germany or wherever to get there. But now I'm doing it here on the interwebs, and it's great. So I think the diversity of the kinds of presentations, everything from clicky keyboards to like audio waveforms and new software and new hardware and all that kind of stuff. We just have such a wider audience than I thought than I ever realized that we did. And being able to do this hybrid, both in person and online, has been an enriching experience. Let's say we've definitely added some more spicy, added some spices to the presentation gumbo, because you never know what you're going to get. But this year I think it was great. It was definitely a level up from some of the years in the past.
Yeah, definitely pros and cons and all that. But I remember being sort of surprised hearing about like the CFFA 3000, right? Rich Dreyer made this card that would do the sort of simulated it would simulate a disk drive, and I think also hard drives. And he sold a lot of them. Like what that means is there are a lot of people out there who are interested in those things. Like he would make a run and they would go, hundreds of them. And it cost $130 or whatever. I mean, it's non-trivial, and he'd sell out repeatedly. So there's a lot of us out there, and a lot of people interested in this stuff.
Yeah, I was just talking,
and a handful of hoarders as well.
I was talking to Sean Fay about the CFFA sales, how like Juiced.GS sales have been up every year for the last 16 years, and that number is still dwarfed by the number of CFFAs sold. Now, granted, the CFFA provides a lot more utility. You can't necessarily read it in the bathroom, but whatever. But still, that means that more people are willing to spend 10 times the cost of Juiced.GS. than they are on Juiced.GS, which I think is awesome for Rich and fantastic for all the people who want to get the most out of their hardware.
Yeah, and I want to say that also Vince Brill was back here after
Yeah.
a few years.
Mhm.
And, you know, Vince Brill is from the Brill computers, the Apple One clone, or, you know,
Replica one, yeah.
The
Yeah.
replica one, yeah.
Kim One and all those. So he was here. He was all excited about everything. He actually got an Apple III from the garage giveaway,
Then it burned out.
and it
Yeah.
burned out. That I got a video from that.
Let the smoke out.
But the cool thing is that, you know, he was so excited that he's going to start working on new projects. So that's the thing, you know, we got people excited to do new projects, to do new things, you know.
Mhm.
That's another thing.
Yeah, and I mean that's the thing about this event is it brings people together, and being close to that energy ramps up your own.
Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. Yeah, I heard that from several people that they were, you know, inspired to go back home, or you know, if they were remote, they were inspired to just go off and start pick up whatever projects they had been working on and maybe had put down for whatever reason, and you know, bring them back. So
And that's a super important point about these type of events, especially coming off of a global pandemic, is they are so nourishing to your soul to just be able to come and be with like-minded people that want to build you up and want to share in your excitement for this hobby. And it's possible, and the Zoom stuff is so great. It's like this olive branch, and it just reaches out into the universe where so many more people can take advantage of this experience than have ever been able to in the past. But I can't stress enough, get here if you can. It was just, this has been just such a tonic this whole weekend, or this whole week.
Week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
went fast.
yeah.
All right. Anyone else want to say anything before we turn to whatever Charles has planned to annoy us?
Go for it.
Oh, do I have a plan to annoy you? Oh, I didn't realize that.
Even if you don't have a plan.
Yes. Natural talent.
Right.
So yeah, for those who maybe don't know, Charles is the host of the Chicken Missile podcast, which was sort of a continuation of the mega podcast like the one we're doing now, but sort of its own thing. And Charles would often sort of put together games for us to play. It was actually not about retro computing. It was it was about staying sane, right? But yeah, he's a master of the games, and so we've asked him to try this out, and I've built this up so much that the pressure's on. But anyway, so I'll hand it to you if you are ready.
Oh, sure. The game that I had sort of picked out for Chicken Missile episode Z or Z that we didn't get to. Let me see. There we go. Oh, okay. Well, I don't really have a specific game, but yeah, because I used all these. The thing that I did was like movies and TV shows that started with a particular phrase, and I had certain clues for various ones, and I never finished writing all the clues. We could play
write them together.
Yeah. Actually, because nobody's heard episode Z that's on the podcast, right? Yeah, we'll just reuse those. That's fine.
Okay.
Go for it.
All right.
Excellent.
All right. So, the Rockhurst contingent is going to be one team altogether.
Safety in numbers.
Yeah.
There you go.
Or group think and we'll fail miserably.
Yeah, you guys can group think and come up with the right answer. So let me get my spreadsheet here. So Rockhurst and
So am I on a
Ken.
team with Ken, or am I?
No, you're on your own.
Okay.
Good luck.
There you go. And I don't know how many people are in the chat room, but we'll see if they want to play too. So I'll give what I'm going to do is I'll give you 5 points if you guess the name of the movie and or TV show. on the first clue. And if you don't get it, then I'll pass it on to the next person who will then get a chance to get 5 points or get a second clue and get 4 points and so on.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's a
do you-
movie or a TV show? Is there,
Yes.
is there anything else that's is there any
yes.
other constraint?
Yes, because episode Z was the last episode that we did. I did all the letters of the alphabet for Chicken Missile. Episode Z was the last letter of the alphabet. All of these have the word last or end or final in the name of the media. So the title is includes last or end or final somewhere in. Cool. Okay. So we'll start with the Rockhurst group. And your first clue is Chingachgook. Chingachgook. Anybody?
Sounds like a Mexican bad word, actually.
Yeah.
Can we phone a friend?
Can we just throw
No,
out?
they're all there in the room with you. You don't have to.
Can we just throw out a guess?
Absolutely. You're not going to lose anything.
Last emperor.
Or the last samurai?
Last Samurai.
Oh. Yes.
Well, which
Those.
one is it? Last Emperor or Last Samurai? Which one's your guess?
Last
Oh.
Samurai.
Last samurai.
Yeah, why not?
All right. Last samurai.
Well, they're both wrong. It's okay. So,
Oh. That was so.
Ken, can you get it from the clue Chingachgook?
You live.
No googling.
Nope.
Okay. So, second clue is Daniel Day-Lewis.
Oh, okay then.
Wait, who goes now?
Ken gets
Oh,
a clue, and then if he doesn't get it, then Paul will get a chance.
The Last of the Mohicans.
Last of the Mohicans is correct. So Ken gets 4 points.
Nice.
All right. So Paul,
Sure, it's not
you're
my
up next.
foot. It's Daniel Day-Lewis's best movie.
it had to be my last.
My last foot.
No.
No, we're not sure. Okay.
Very different movie, My Last Foot. All right. So So Ken got that one. Congratulations. And now Paul, it is your turn. Your first clue is Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. I feel like I'm going to be annoyed with myself. And yet, I do not know. I don't even know how to begin guessing. If I guess something, it'll end up being the answer to something later that I will have helped someone with.
Okay. So Paul doesn't have it. Sounds like Rockhurst might. Rockhurst crew.
It's the last samurai.
The Last Samurai. There you go. So
We were just off.
That's
by
the problem.
one.
Is
Yep.
it's an off by one.
recognition was getting in the way of
Yes.
having it. If you had just put the questions in the right order.
I know. All right. So Ken, you are up next. Javi, did you have a question? I saw you raising your hand.
No. I was just saying,
It's a complaint. Keep going.
keep going. Pointing it.
All right. Okay. So Ken, you're Ken, you're up next. Your first clue is Phoenix. And if you're saying anything, you are currently muted. So there you go.
No, this is how quietly I usually think. Not coming to mind. I have to
Okay.
pass.
That's all right. Paul, can you get it from Phoenix?
I have an idea, but I can't. No. Give me
Okay.
clue 2.
Your second clue is mutation.
No, nothing. Nothing's coming. Rockhurst is gonna get it again.
Mr. Kater! Mr. Kater!
Go ahead.
Okay.
X-Men Last Stand.
X-Men Last Stand. There you go. You get 4 points for that.
Okay.
Very nice.
I no longer feel bad about not knowing that.
The Dark Phoenix or whatever story.
Just keep going. We'll just quietly fade out of
Yeah,
this.
That's all right. That's all right. You never know. Okay, so Ken, you're up next now. Once again.
Okay.
So just marking out which ones I have already asked. So those two, because I don't want to ask them again, because that would be unfair. All right, so your first clue is junior.
Oh.
The Last Dinosaur?
Nope.
Okay.
So Paul, do you want to try for 5?
Junior. No, I did not. What's
Okay.
clue 2?
Clue number 2 is Nazis.
Is what?
Damn it.
Yeah.
Nazis.
Nazis. Yeah. Okay. So
Come on, Paul. You can
Yeah.
do this.
what I'm trying to remember. Yeah, I mean, I think I know exactly what series of movies this is in. What do we need? Final or last, right?
Come on.
Yeah. Okay. No, I'm taking too long.
No, you got this. Come on.
You got to guess.
Just do it.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
You don't have a
Damn.
point. You're not going to lose anything.
Yeah, but I'm not remembering I'm not remembering the crucial thing. So I'll get there.
All right.
Well,
Rockhurst.
Someday I will get a point. Someday.
Let Roadcast have a chance. The answer to this, Junior.
Yeah, it's not just junior. It's junior.
It's Indiana
And then
in the Last Crusade.
See, I told you I knew the series. I just couldn't remember which one had last in it.
Reading books instead of burning.
I knew it was Indiana Jones. I'm like Lost City.
Really good. That's
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
perfect.
Well, and also the second clue could have been Nazis. Why is it always Nazis? But I
Yeah.
didn't go there.
Yeah.
All right, so that was another 4 points for Rockhurst. You guys have
All of the points.
taken a commanding lead. So
We're good.
Ken,
We're not doing anything.
You guys are just looking pretty. And that
Yeah,
is
well, that's
something.
what we are. I can't
the-
for the yeah. Sorry, carry on.
Little something for the ladies.
all right, Ken, your clue is not M. Night Shyamalan.
Avatar: The Last Airbender.
There you go. Avatar: The Last Airbender. There's 5 points for Ken.
Very nice.
Nicely done.
All
I
right.
am not optimistic about this.
Go
Let us
Paul.
go.
Okay.
Let it go.
Your clue, Paul, is animated.
Animated. We already just had an animated.
Oh, it's pretty cool.
Nothing's coming to me.
All right. Rockhurst, you guys want to try animated? Or do you want another clue?
Well,
Yeah.
it's literally 400,000 movies. Can we?
Yeah.
Can we narrow
Well, but the last of them.
the last of them?
Return and did you say end also?
Yeah, the
Last.
Final lap.
last and
Oh, okay. So there can be more than just last or okay.
yeah, just I don't have a very diverse
Yeah,
list.
that's a really good one. It's Final Fantasy Spirits Within.
No.
What?
Good guess.
A lot of
What?
words.
All right, so that was your guess for 5 points. To give you one clue for 4 points, and it is the soundtrack by America.
Oh, okay.
Animated, the soundtrack by America.
Giving us the chance to do the answer.
Yeah, we get the answer.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's the last unicorn left
There
in
you
the
go.
world
He
today.
even knows the lyrics.
I've seen that movie. That movie is nightmare fuel, but it's like it's such a great 80s kids movie.
And hence the nightmare fuel. Yeah, I had nightmares for years that featured the Red Bull.
Yeah,
made out
the
of
Red
fire.
Bull. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that drink came out and it just got worse. Now I'm up all night thinking about it.
I'm not gonna watch it.
That's scary.
Okay.
It is
Okay, so I have one. So who's Ken? Your turn again. Right. Okay. So your clue is Yorick.
Oh, I know that.
Yes.
Star Trek V, the final. No, Star Trek 5, the final frontier.
Mhm.
No, Star Trek. Damn it.
As entertaining as this is, you're nowhere near.
Oh,
It's not. It is
it's
not
not a Star Trek. Okay, never mind.
Paul, do you want to try it with Yorick?
I do not, but let me hear this. The second
Okay. Second clue is chromosome.
Yorick and chromosome.
Damn it.
And now you know, right?
Now I do.
I know.
My cultural knowledge is apparently really not final based.
This is your moment to shine. Wait, unless Paul gets it.
No. There's no chance. You will always get it next. 2 clues. Can you do it?
Yeah. All right. Have at it, Rutgers.
Last Man. Why The Last Man?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Oh yeah.
Why
It's been
is this
5
comic?
That's a
years since I've
show.
read that.
And I read that comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the guys,
Nice.
Yorick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the comic
Is
book
it
was
good?
amazing. The TV show got canceled after 1 season, though.
Yeah, TV
Yeah,
shows.
I'm hoping it gets picked back up.
So I was confusing Star Trek 5 and 6. I never would have. Never
You
mind.
you can't show your face at another conference.
Well, there's a Shakespeare quoting Klingon in Star Trek
Yeah,
6,
Ah,
Undiscovered
You
Country.
haven't heard Shakespeare until you've heard him in the original Klingon.
Right. But it was Star Trek 5 that had the word final in it.
You can't get more geek than this.
Oh,
yeah.
I gotta tell you, I have a holiday playlist that I play every December on my iPhone, and somewhere in that shuffle is Klingon singing Jingle Bells.
That's excellent. By the way, actually, I was going to ask. So at one point, one of these previous ones, the Avatar: The Last Airbender was the right
Yeah.
answer. Is that because end is right there in Airbender?
He's the last Airbender.
No, I was just wondering, like would that count?
We went totally literal on you.
Yeah.
You're like,
No, it's the last Airbender. The
Yes,
word is in the.
and yeah.
I'm just wondering if like how creative can we be with our choices here?
I don't know. Well, I've got 2 more. These are a little more tricky.
Oh, good.
So Ken,
Oh,
what?
bring it on.
Oh, okay. Okay, so Ken, your first clue for 5 points is mooncake.
Mooncake. Can you use it in a sentence?
The clue is mooncake.
What is the country of origin?
You can't know that. That'd be cheating.
Mooncake. Let's see.
That's not a real song. He's just making that up. That's not a song.
It's Moonshadow. It's
Yeah.
Ken.
Okay.
Pass.
Oh no.
Oh.
Yeah, I watched this whole show. I know exactly what this is, and I cannot remember the name of that show. But mooncake is green. I will tell you that much at least.
All right. Okay, so that's like half a point for
Yeah,
Mooncake
you
joint?
can. I suppose you could give me the other clue, and I will still know
Okay.
what the show is and not remember the
Okay.
name of it.
The second clue is avocado.
Yeah. Who is a
Avocado.
cat? And yeah, and yeah, he's a cat. Oh, I don't remember the name of the show.
Okay.
I watched it like 9 months ago or
Wow.
something.
Yeah, it was a really good show.
Anyone remember it?
Remember the end of The Last Cat?
Maybe.
All right. So no guesses.
It gets better, that show, by the way. Like it starts super annoying, and I thought, I cannot watch this show. This is terrible. I do not sympathize at all with this character. And then but then it gets better.
So no guesses.
No, because I don't remember the name. but
I
I
thought
will
maybe I just
recommend the
stopped in there.
show.
Okay. All right. So so the Rockhurst guys, can you get it from Mooncake and avocado?
Shade guess.
No.
It's the
No,
final.
I'd
no?
say take another.
Can we take another clue?
Point.
It's not gonna help.
We'll take a clue.
Okay.
Yeah.
The next clue is Gary Goodspeed.
Does that help?
No. No.
Yeah,
If you-
I mean, I
if
just
you-
explained the whole show to you, so
I've done it by Mooncake.
All we know is like with the cat. It's the end of The Last Cat. The final cat.
it's oh fine, I know what it is. It's too
back.
late anyway, right?
No, give it. Just
Oh,
give it to him.
I'm giving.
Yeah,
our
we're-
turn
Are you
back.
giving up?
Yeah, we'll,
Yeah.
we'll go back to you.
Yes.
No, you don't need to
Okay,
go
so-
back to me, but I will say that it's Final Space.
Okay. Well, that was you just took Ken's turn away from him. That's
Oh,
fine.
I thought,
Oh no.
I would
thought they were-
not have
were
gotten
they-
that.
I thought they were on 3. I'm sorry.
Sorry. We're so sorry about it that we're Canadian. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well,
Ken, would you have gotten it?
Sorry.
Ken would not. So you still-
Absolutely not.
all right.
Okay, so I didn't ruin anything.
I'll give you some pity points, Paul, since you didn't get it.
I think that's not necessary, but I just didn't want to ruin Ken's.
Space.
That's all right. All right. I think I've got one more that I haven't done yet. And the first clue is cornetto. And this is for Ken. Since
I pre-guessed this one.
the Rockers Spice,
know.
guess. So
knowledge.
cornetto to Ken.
So smart. He's the man.
Too much.
And he can sing.
Too much.
Too much singing.
Oh, he's drunk. That's why.
Say-
Yeah.
Nope, pass.
Okay. So Paul, sounds like you might know it.
Were you saying that? Yeah. Anyway,
So,
the World's End.
There you go. And what is the significance of cornetto?
It's the Cornetto trilogy is the name of those 3 movies by Edgar Wright. One of
Mm-hmm.
which is Shaun of the Dead. I forget what the other one is, and
Fuzz.
Fuzz.
Fuzz. Yep.
Yeah,
and
And they each have a different color cornetto ice cream bar.
yeah. Edgar Wright's stuff is great.
Yes.
Yeah, it is really great. What was the recent one? A Baby Driver. Quite
Scott-
impressively choreographed.
awesome.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Is that the one where he has like a tape deck that like
Yeah.
you can remix it? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I saw I only know that because I saw a tech breakdown of the thing that he uses in the movie. I never saw the movie, but I saw the scene over and over again where he's like making mixtapes essentially before you're like splicing tapes and stuff. Anyway, so yeah, it was a cool tech angle there. I'd still never seen the movie, but it sounds good.
Do see it. I mean, like it is technically impressive.
Okay.
I get $20 every time I recommend it, so please see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the Rockers contingent with 4 of you in the room managed to eke out 21 points. And then I'm going to divide that by 4, and you each get 5 1/4 points.
Oh.
Ken has 9 and Paul has 8. So
lost.
so you so Ken wins. For individuals, there you go. But yeah, you guys got 21 points. Very impressive knowledge of final things.
The very impressive part from me was right at the end, but it's okay. It was
really
it was
hoping
fun.
to bring up-
Oh, if you had gotten Final Space though, you would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's that great movie where they bring, it's like a modern aircraft carrier slips
Oh.
back through time to
Yes.
World War II.
Yes.
It kind of intercepts like the Pearl Harbor in
Yep.
you know, the final countdown. So you get a twofer because you got the movie and then that song by Europe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to
Okay.
say, I was primed though when you laid out the game. The World's End was like, I thought, okay, that's one that would count.
This is fun.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice. Nice done.
Well, sure. Thanks for the last minute recycling of podcast ideas. You're welcome.
Excellent. No, we did not give you very long to prepare for this, and we definitely appreciate it.
No, it's fine.
Yep.
It's about how much preparation I do for the chicken missile podcast, so I'm used to it.
Excellent. All right. Yeah. So is that it? That's you've gone through
That's
the
yeah. That's
questions and the
that's
scores and
that's the game and the scores and stuff. Did we have closing thoughts? Any closing
around.
remarks?
Your closing thoughts?
any other sessions you'd like to call out? No. Yeah, I don't know. It's about the people. Isn't that what you say?
Yes. I like to say KansasFest is made of people.
Yep. Made the people for the people, by the people. And it's right now, the theme is to Apple II forever and to make sure that we launch Apple II to the future and we keep on having Apple II in the future and making things happen again and again and again and not just getting stagnant. That's what I think we're trying
That's kind
to
of the
get
theme.
now. Yeah, the theme.
Yep.
And make it sort of exciting enough that someone who wasn't into it before could look at it and say, actually, this is pretty cool.
Correct. Yep.
Yes. I saw a post. Someone shared with me a post from Reddit. I think it was Reddit. It was a question in like the Apple subreddit. I'm getting into Apple II programming. I want to make an arcade game. Is the processor speed going to be an issue?
Being too fast, like it 1 meg
It's more.
yeah, I don't think people can't handle that.
Yeah, I mean, my thought is at least it's a consistent 1 megahertz. It's not like it does power saving when it gets hot, or it has to take offload things to the GPU to do graphics.
Plus
You
it's an
get the 1 megahertz. It's always that 1 megahertz.
Apple III, you get 2 megahertz, but not when you don't.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I think that the art is in the constraints though, right? I mean, like, so what's fun is to try to actually make something cool when all you have is 1 megahertz.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And it's
But
doable.
that's just another example of someone who's getting into it now. It's like a new thing apparently. Like, sure. Well, I'd love to see what you come up with.
Yeah. Yep. And there still seems to be stuff to discover, and like
A lot.
it's surprising that it's not all mined out, but it is not all mined out.
Yep.
I mean, just the idea of doing a detailed physical model simulation of the speaker cone and its response times, so that you can what was he calling it? Delta
Modulation.
Delta modulation. There you go. And basically make a 1-bit speaker sound like it's I don't know, at least more than 1 bit. I don't know how it was a 10-bit sound or something ultimately, but yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, and Becky Heineman also, sort of like talked about using pretty much that same technique. But what's super impressive is there's that talk, and then you hear it, and you're like, wait, what? I could have.
Well,
heard
it's
this
like all
in
the theory
1980.
and everything, and then play, and yeah. Well, and then Rebecca Heineman's like, oh, we did that back in the 80s. We didn't tell anybody about it because we kept it to ourselves.
Anyway,
because you had to be better than wizardry.
Yep.
All right. Yeah, I guess at some point it probably will have to end. It's been a long kind of time here for those of us that were sort of in the KansasFest mix here, but because what I mean, like since Monday, since Tuesday, I think the people are on site. We're doing this, and so I think we all need to take a nap. But this has been it's nice to have this annual recharge.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
Oh, you have a
yeah,
question?
go ahead.
Yes.
Back in the back
yes.
of the room.
Actually, I just
Yes?
wanted to say something. I just wanted to, again, thank everybody for being super kind and, all the people behind the scenes that made the event possible, all the people that like dealt with all the technical hurdles to make this happen, all the people that showed up at Rockhurst way earlier than attendees to get everything in place and make things happen. I want to thank everybody in this chat who has really gone out of their way to make this another memorable year. And then I would just ask everybody that to kind of continue on with that to do your best this week to make investments in kindness. And if there are people that you know that are interested in getting into this hobby, sometimes dealing with new people is often frustrating, but the only way that this hobby survives is by making those investments in making it accessible to new people. And I want to thank everybody in this chat and the people that are following along on Zoom and on YouTube for making this possible and to keeping the dream of the Apple II alive.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely.
You said it better than I could. So thank you.
Okay, I guess we can leave it on that uplifting note. This has been Open Retro Chicken Drop Retro Adventure Table Lines Roundup
All right.
2022.
Retro compute.
Retro
compute.
Chicken.
Hold you forever. KansasFest.
Okay, thanks.
Woohoo. All right.
Okay.
See you in 2023.
All right, so I'll do something with this. Thank you for doing this. Enjoy the rest of your evenings and travels back if you're traveling back.
Take care, guys.
Take care.
Good
See you.
seeing
Bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye. Thanks, Paul.
Bye.
Thanks, Ken. Thanks, guys.